This is a review for the Samsung POWERbot R7040. The R7040's airflow was measured at 16 CFM. Its suction was measured at 0.2 kPa. In our carpet stress test, the R7040 picked up all debris types very well. This robot has a very wide, direct cleaning path, as its brushable compartment essentially extends along the full width of the robot, and so it's able to clean up debris without the use of a side brush. In our carpet deep clean test, the R7040 picked up 5 grams of debris after 3 passes over an area of carpet embedded with 30 grams of fine debris. In our hard floor stress test, the R7040 once again picked up all debris types very well, despite not having a side brush and because of its wide direct cleaning path. The R7040 performed reasonably well cleaning edges, with some caveats. This robot uses a camera to navigate, and this allows it to clean in a logical row-by-row pattern. The problem is that it doesn't always move all the way down the full length of a row, and sometimes misses an entire section of the area it's cleaning. This is what happened in this first test on hard floors. The R7040 misses the entire bottom left section near the left edge of the test station. When the robot does get good coverage around edges, it cleans them fairly well. The R7040's lack of a side brush does make it fairly ineffective cleaning edges when it moves close and parallel to them, but it makes up for this limitation with head-on movements. With head-on movements, it's able to get right up to the edge with its brush roll because its brush roll is seated at the front of the robot, and this is highly effective for cleaning edges. In our robot vacuum crevice test, the R7040 did not perform well on default power or on maximum power. Even after extensive runtime, it still could not pull most of the debris out of the crevice used for this test on either power setting. In our human hair pickup test, the R7040 picked up all the hair, but most of that hair wasn't pulled into its dustbin. 60 to 70% of the hair it picked up tangled around its brush roll and had to be cleaned off manually. In our pet hair pickup test, the R7040 performed much better. It picked up and collected all of the shorter pet hair used for this test in its dustbin. We tested the robot's cleaning efficiency and coverage in 2 different environments, an empty room and a cluttered room. In our empty room testing, we see the R7040's row-by-row cleaning pattern demonstrated very well. It first cleans in vertical rows and then cleans in horizontal rows. The problem is that it doesn't complete the full length of all rows, which hurts its edge performance in those areas because it doesn't approach the edge head-on in those areas, as we discussed earlier. You can also see how it doesn't get full coverage in this test. It misses the entire bottom left section of the room and also misses a chunk of the bottom right side of the room. We see similar results in our cluttered room testing. Once again, the R7040 misses entire sections of the room. We can also see how it struggles moving around certain obstacles. Note how it moves the circular container used for this test when it moves around it. No other robot vacuum we tested thus far moved this container this much during this test. The R7040 also struggles moving around the chair frame used for this test. Right at the beginning of the test, it bounces off of a chair leg repeatedly. And later on in the test, it has quite a bit of trouble escaping from underneath the chair frame once it does get underneath it. We do want to note here that this robot does feature a repeat setting. With it turned off, the robot will return to its charging base once it thinks that it has completed cleaning. With this setting turned on, the robot will keep running until its battery runs low, much like a random pathing robot. So far, we've only discussed coverage test results with this setting turned off, as this is the default setting for this robot. But note that you can get better coverage with it turned on, though the robot will still have trouble moving around obstacles as I described earlier. Other important specifications and test results we considered for this review are summarized here. Note especially that this is not a mapping robot. You can't control the robot using the Samsung SmartThings companion app, but you can label rooms, set the robot to clean certain rooms, or set it to stay out of certain rooms using the app. There are also no physical boundaries, like a magnetic strip, for example, included with the R7040 or available for purchase for use with it separately. In the same chart, also note the R7040's runtime, bin volume, and noise output, and how those specifications and test results compare to the average for all of the robot vacuums we've tested so far. Lastly, note the robot's diameter and height. These dimensions make the R7040 one of the larger robot vacuums we've tested. Moving on to what we like and dislike about this vacuum, first let's talk about what we like. It picks up most types of debris very well on both carpets and hard floors. When this robot is able to approach edges head on, it cleans them very well. We also like that it comes with a physical remote and can be controlled via an app. Moving on to what we dislike about the R7040, it performed quite poorly in both our empty room and cluttered room coverage testing. It also has considerably less runtime than most competitors, and a smaller dustbin than most competitors. It's also louder than most other robot vacuums we tested, and it's very tall with a measured height of 4 inches. In terms of general recommendations, we cannot recommend the R7040 because of the negatives I just listed. Its coverage does improve if you turn on the repeat setting, but it's still unacceptable that it gets such poor coverage with the setting turned off. Turning on the repeat setting also doesn't fix the fact that it has a very difficult time moving around in a cluttered environment, awkwardly pushing around obstacles as it tries to move around them. See the description of this video for a link to the latest updated list of all of the robot vacuums we do recommend, and thank you for watching.